Sticking with the strategy. Jamie Hartford was a great soccer player when he was 5. When he was 6, he was great at baseball. When he was 7, he loved table tennis. He played basketball in high school for a year, and then switched to football. Jamie's first career choice was marine biology, but after taking 2 science classes in college, he decided that wasn't for him. He tried hotel management and found that it involved talking to too many people. Afterwards, he spent a year studying architecture and loved it. But he got a mean teacher the second year and decided to switch to nursing. He only lasted 3 months in nursing school. Eventually, Jamie graduated with a degree in accounting. He said it was temporary. He just needed something quick to get a job and make some money while he figured out what he really wanted to do with his life. So he worked for a tax firm for 3 months, but he didn't like how small his office was. He got a job from home, keeping books for a lawn care business, but they didn't pay well enough, so he took a better-paying job at a bank. His boss at the bank was awful, so he started looking out for another job. Meanwhile, Jamie had a birthday. He hadn't celebrated his birthdays in years. Why should that day be more special to him than any other? But 30 sounded big for some reason. He took the day off and decided to spend it with himself. The day before his birthday, Jamie was in a good mood. He planned out his day and enjoyed it, all in anticipation. He'd get himself some overpriced coffee and donuts and enjoy a calm morning at the park 4 blocks from his apartment. Jamie had always loved nature, not enough to enjoy studying it, but enough to enjoy spending time in it. He strung together a playlist with all his favorite music and decided what to wear. Then he went to bed. The next day, Jamie woke up at 9:30. He'd expected to wake up earlier with the sun shining into his bedroom, but the sun wasn't there. Instead, it was pouring rain out. Jamie sat down in his kitchen, dark with the gloom of a rainy day, with a cup of instant coffee, as he listened to the thunk of the rain falling outside, and dreamed of expensive donuts. Finally, he got tired of thinking about eating and decided a little rain wouldn't melt him. He put on his coat and walked down to the new cafe on the corner, his sleeves making a shimmery sound as they brushed against his body with every step. The rain got into the space between his socks and his shoes and made his steps sloshy. It dripped off the edge of his hood and splashed all over his glasses until he could hardly see. Served him right for doing something as stupid as trying to celebrate his birthday, he thought. He was the only customer at the shop, and a bleary-eyed teenage girl rang up his order. She looked like she'd been out at a party last night. It took her 3 tries to count his change back correctly. Jamie got his coffee and donuts and sat down at a table in the corner. He looked out the window at the gray street. "Rain, rain, go away. Come again some other day," he sang under his breath. But the rain kept falling. The inside of the coffee shop was cozy and inviting, with cute little chairs and tables and elegant decor on the walls. All the colors were warm and soft, and the smell of sweets and coffee blended deliciously in the air. It didn't put Jamie back into a good mood, though. It just reminded him of how glum it was outside and how his day had been ruined. Jamie got to thinking as he sat there, thinking about his job and his boss, and how rude that man was, and how he was always nitpicking and asking for tiny changes and making work miserable. The more Jamie thought about it, the more he thought that bosses in general were bad news. Who needed someone else telling them what to do? Jamie was sure his ideas were better than his boss's ideas, at least half the time. And the other half of the time, his ideas were just as good. Why not be his own boss? Lots of people went off and did things on their own and made a good living. Jamie figured he didn't need to be rich. He just needed enough money to keep his comfortable apartment, to go out now and then with some friends, to lay a bit by for retirement. After all, he thought, this job he had now had always been meant to be temporary. He still hadn't figured out what it was really he wanted to do with his life. He'd just been trying things out. Maybe it was time to try out something a little more radical.